Welcome to Root Chakra HeART Art Project. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this week what you'll be doing for the next 8 weeks with series 1 of our HeART Art projects. Just going to double check my camera, make sure I'm in there. I am. Okay. So I am using these little 4x4 canvases. These are watercolor paper from my watercolor pad that I showed you in the supply list video. I have a palette, a pen, paper towel, paintbrush, and then I'm going to show you. So I made up a bunch of these already because I'm going to be recording a bunch of videos, but these are the Q-tips. And I decided instead of using the rubber bands to use my painter's tape. It just worked a lot easier. And so I'll just show you what I did. I just grouped them, like bunched them up together. And then, oops, I forgot to get this started. So let's get this started. All right, there we go. I just pulled up enough. And then I kind of grouped them all together. Well, this was much easier doing it off camera. Okay, so I just kind of did that. Started in the middle so that I could grab them all and then just turned. And I didn't worry about it being so close to the one end because I will use both ends. But it doesn't matter that you don't have to have it centered. So I just made up a bunch of these and this is what we're going to do. And then I'm going to show you a sneak peek. So this is what we're going to be doing. And how I got this really cool straight line was I used, again, my painter's tape. So we are going to create this and one other. So for series 2, you have 2 options. I would love to see you do both, but it's totally up to you. Trust and follow your intuition. But I really, I love these trees. And then we're going to do something that's more along the lines of aligning your chakra through art. So that's what we'll be doing. And that was the root chakra. So that was like my template one. And so what I did is I just kind of, again, I use a lot of painter's tape. And I'm just going to tape this to my workshop table. And I don't really worry about it being like super duper straight, but it will give you that frame look when you are complete. Now, some people don't like to do this. They want to work all the way to the edge. That is perfectly fine. This is not required. But again, I just like how it gives me that finished framed look. So in case I decide I want to frame these at some point, I have that option. And the next video, I'll already have these taped down so we don't have to spend as much time doing this. But again, I just wanted in this first video to show you how I kind of set up my workspace and what I do to get that framed look. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'll go ahead and do both. And just remember to maybe work on this one first so I don't dip my hand in the paint on this one. And if you remember, I talked to you about the different paints. So you use whatever paints you are called to use for series 1, whether that's the chalk paint, the clay-based paint, or acrylics or oil, just kind of whatever medium you like working with. And if this is kind of new, just pick one. Again, I like the Country Chick is my favorite. It's clay-based. I just like how it moves. Chalk paint is also a good option. And the reason why I like those 2 options is because it dries fairly quickly. So there's not a whole lot of wait time because I tend to be one of those where like, ooh, I'm so excited. I'm ready to do the next thing. And so that's why I kind of lean towards those. But again, I mean, acrylic is a good choice too. So, all right. I got my canvases taped down. They both have a little bit of a frame. I'm going to start with this one. Let me double check my camera again. Yep, still in there. Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys. I'm still getting this whole, trying to get it so you guys can see and I can still work. All right. So we're going to start with this one here first. And the root chakra is red. And this first project is really simple. And then I have a white. And these are the Dixie Belle brand. And I found this down there. I have a metallic silver, which I thought, ooh, that's kind of fun. So maybe I'll start with this one. And oh yeah, I don't know if you guys can see the shimmer in there. I think we're going to do this one. So when you are working with chakras, they're not like just a solid color. It's kind of like there's a white orb around the outside of it, and then the colors on the inside. So this first one, we're just going to keep it really simple. And if you have watched the alignment one, you know that when we are clearing or cleaning out our chakra, we go in a counterclockwise motion. So I'm just going to take this because it's kind of like a white, even though it says silver. And I'm just going to go and I'm going to clean my chakra. I'm just going to do a circle. And I'm just visualizing cleaning out my root chakra. And you know, we do it in threes, but you can just keep going. And I'm just really filling in this whole space. And I'm clearing out my chakra. I'm using this silvery metallic. Now I just want to go in and kind of flatten it out. So I've got this circle. And again, I wasn't being like super careful with it. Just allow the paintbrush to flow over your canvas or your paper. All right, so that was clockwise or counterclockwise, I'm sorry. Next, that's really dry. I'm going to switch over to the white one and I need another paintbrush. Oh, I'm sorry, switch over to red and I have this. There we go. And again, it doesn't matter what kind of brush. I happen to have the rounded ones. These were just, they're an 8, in case anybody's curious. Just gonna set that there. Now I'm going to dip into my red. And this one is a little bit thicker. I probably should have added some water, but we're just going to go for it. All right, again, we're still focusing on the clearing and cleansing of our root chakra. So I'm just going to go right over this. I'm not worried about it being wet. We're just really, so here we go. All right, counterclockwise, clearing out our red root chakra. And really just let that go. Oh, so good. Build more of my canvas. Our intention is that we're just clearing out that chakra. Just let that paintbrush flow over, creating that circle counterclockwise. Oh yeah. All right. So now that we've put some red down, I'm going to go back in and this brush will get dirty, but that's okay. So I'm going to go back in and grab the silver, and you don't have to use the silver metallic. You can use white, or you can skip that altogether. But now I'm going to go in and I'm going to energize my root chakra with this white. And when we energize and balance, we go in a clockwise motion. Starting up here, and this will turn this a little bit pink, and that's okay because we're going to go back over it with the red, but just let that flow. And I will not dip this back in. I'm just doing this one because wanted to get that energy going. We got that white. Amazing. All right. Now we're going to come back in with the red and we're going clockwise. Just really just let that paint move across your canvas or your paper. And we are energizing our root chakra. Oh, it feels amazing. I'm going to fill this center hole. Oh, it's just amazing. Energizing that root chakra. And just do it until it feels good. All right, that's it. We're going to let this one dry. Now we're going to move over to this one. So that is option number one. I'm going to move my paintbrushes. Grab another paper towel. Just so I don't get paint everywhere. And what is this over there? All right, now we're going to focus on this one. And we're going to do a tree. Put the silver away. All right. Okay, so I've got a brown. I went with a lighter brown. And got to go back to my paintbrushes. I still think I'm going to work with this 8. And you do need this one just to do the tree trunk. And actually yesterday, this one was a bit big. So that's an 8 too, but it looks thinner. So I have 2 brushes here, 2 different brands. This was a Studio 71. I think I got from Blick Art, maybe. And these, you can't even see the brand, but they're both a size 8. But as you can see, this one is a little bit thicker. So I want this one that's a little bit thinner. And you don't have to be like a pro at art. So tree trunks, nothing in nature is perfect. So that's what we want to let go of here. So I'm just going to come into the center, wherever I think that might be. And I'm just going to start kind of building my tree trunk. And don't worry about getting it on the tape. I'm just going to bring it up. And then you can do whatever you want, but I'm thinking because we're working on the 7 chakras that I will have 7 branches. So I'm just going to come up here and just a branch. And a branch. And a branch. These are going to get covered up, so you don't have to worry about it too much. A branch. And you'll notice I got some paint here, so I'm just going to come up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where do we need? I think we'll throw one in right there. And then I'm just going to go in and kind of fill in these branches, take them out to my painter's tape. And again, you don't have to do perfect with the tree because we're going to cover it up here in just a second. And your branches can be as thin as you want. These ones, I'm just going to kind of leave here like this. All right, now I'm just going to take this extra paint because with the clay-based paint or chalk paint, they dry really fast if you thin out the paint, meaning you wipe it off. I'm just going back in and picking up some of that excess paint. And you can even just take the excess paint to the painter's tape if you want. I'm just coming in and picking up that extra paint. Okay. That made that one a little bit fatter, thicker. Okay. So again, and this is where I would recommend having like a heat gun or a hair dryer, You don't have to, but if you want to keep working right away, or maybe you're going to do both and you let this one dry, or you start with this one and while it's drying, you start working on this one. Doesn't really matter. And it doesn't have to be 100% dry, because what we're going to do next, you're just going to lay more paint right on top of it. All right, so I'm done with that brush. And now I'm going to come in and grab one of my Q-tips. Now you can use the paintbrush. You can use the bottom if you want to make your dots. Remember, I also said you could use like the little the clay tools that I had. So any way you want to do it, but this was just a fast, easy way. And I thought, oh, everybody usually has Q-tips, so why not? Let's just use that. So you can either dip directly in. If you have a paint bottle like this, you might just want to spray it in here or put some in here. And I think actually that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab my red paintbrush that I used from earlier, and I'm just going to throw some paint in here. Well, not really throw it, but put it in there. And then I'm going to take my Q-tips, dip it in there, and make sure I got paint on all of them. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to do some dots. And they're not perfect dots. Again, if you want more like streamlined dots, you can go ahead and do that with the bottom of a paintbrush. But we're just filling in our tree. And this is more kind of like an organic way to do that. So fill it in as much as you want. Okay, so that looks good to me. Now, the reason I have two ends, I'm going to grab a little bit of white. And that's where these come in handy. Or you can use a paintbrush, but I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to use the other end, dip it in there. And this is just to give it some dimension. And this one has slid, so I've got some on the back there that are, so these I might want to go at an angle. So just pay attention to where your brushes are. And this is where you might want gloves, because I'm going to probably get red on my fingers. If you don't mind the paint on your fingers, don't worry about it. All right, so now I'm just going to come in again, and I'm just going to tap in some white to give it some dimension. And again, you don't have to do the white. You can just leave it with the red. I just wanted to add in some dimension. And then if you get too much white, you just flip and you go back in with the red. Might turn it a little bit pink, but that's okay. All right. And so that is how you do your chakra tree. And now the reason why I suggested some like a pen or gel pens, you can come in here if you want and you can add in some pen work. So if you kind of want to show that there's branches in here, and I'm just swiping up into the paint. You might have to dab it off a little bit. I'm gonna have to use my glasses. Just kind of fill it in. And again, this isn't a requirement. It's just to really just bring your tree to life for you. Now my pen's not wanting to work. I might have to let the paint dry a little bit more. But yeah, you can do that. And then you can, I always want to do like sign my artwork. And then over here, I can write root. And then this is the really cool part. So again, I'll go ahead and do it over here. And this is the fart. This is like, sound like I said fart. I apologize. This is the part that is really like kind of satisfying. So it's kind of another reason why I like to tape, but we're going to go ahead and when you're peeling the tape, sometimes the paper might want to tear depending on the quality. So I always kind of like just pull at an angle. And as close to the project as possible. Now this one, you can see that frame there, but you won't notice it so much. And you can go in and add more detail, get your gel pens and add to this project. I may still do that. Go in and add some, designs. This will need to dry more before I can do that. But so then you have this one where you actually cleansed and energized your chakra while you were doing art. And again, it just took a few minutes. And now we're going to peel this one. It's like the big reveal. It's so fun. Isn't that just amazing? And so I'll show you the one I did yesterday. I went with a lot more paint today, but again, they're kind of similar. I did some more white today than I did yesterday, but look at our beautiful root chakra tree. It's amazing. This will have to dry. And then we have this one. So I hope you have enjoyed root chakra art today. And again, this is part of series 1. And I cannot wait to see what y'all create. Have fun with it. Follow your intuition and just let go and be present with your art and your root chakra. You all have an amazing day, you amazing humans, and I'll see you soon.